Hi, I'm Ronnie Ciago, and this is the Ronnie Ciago Show. I want to introduce my guests.
Bjorn Englen.
Mike Cancino.
So guys, thank you for being on my show.
Our pleasure.
And
Thank you.
Give me some history. I'll start with you, Bjorn. You come from Sweden, which is interesting.
Bjorn and raised.
Wow.
Never used that one before.
Okay.
Yes, I've been here in the United States 32 years. So
Wow, okay.
Came here when I was very young, and you know, I feel at home. Always felt at home from day one, and no looking back. And I've been playing with all sorts of bands and people. In 1995, 94 actually got the gig with the Quiet Riot, and I was did a U.S. tour with them and some album pre-production and a bunch of promo and stuff like that. So it was kind of a short stint, but it was enough to, you know, get my feet wet, and it was interesting.
So,
to say the least.
so what, you came from Sweden, you didn't know anybody really.
I didn't. I knew one guy that was in a band back in Sweden who was also a bass player. His name was Patrick, and he was in a band called Blacksmith.
Okay.
And I went to see them. I used to have my own fanzine when I was a kid, and they came to my hometown to play, and they were a really good band, actually. I got the poster, and I had it on the wall, and I interviewed him, so I kept seeing his face all the time, and then he changed his hair color, and I was working at the local music store, and I walk in, I came back from lunch, and I walk into the store, and he's sitting, kneeled down, playing this acoustic bass, and he looks up at me, and I said, "Hey, you're the bass player from Blacksmith, aren't you?" And he's like, "How the heck did you know that?" Like, I got your poster on the wall, and we became friends. And then he said, "I'm going to move to LA. I'm going to go to the Musicians Institute." And I'm like, "Well, I'm thinking about that too." So I said, "You let me know how it is. I'll call you. You know, give me a number. I'll call you. And check on you in a couple of months." And it's like March, and it's snowing back in the south of Sweden. And I called Patrick late one night, and he, you know, and it's noon time, his time. And I said, "What do you do?" And he said, "I'm on the roof and, you know, sunbathing and laying by the pool." I'm like, "Okay, that's it. I'm coming over." That was it. Yeah. So I stayed with Patrick. I bought his old car that was just falling apart, like an old Ford, 1979 Ford Granada. It was leaking gas and all kinds of stuff. It was car finally broke down, and bought some of his furniture from him, off of him. Almost everything, and then, you know, moved into an apartment in Hollywood, and now the rest is history. So,
Where in Hollywood?
I was over by Hollywood and La Brea. Oh, right over by the Runyon Canyon where the fire was.
I know where it is.
Yeah.
And so, how did the Quiet Riot, or it was audition, or did you just come in, or did you have an audition with other bass players?
They said they got 122. Back then, cassette tapes, you know, and then they had 40 guys come in to play. And Kevin DeBro, the singer, called me after I sent in a tape, because of somebody, I was working at a 24-hour gym, and somebody threw the entertainment guide on the call of the LA Weekly on the counter and said, "Look, Quiet Riot's looking for a bass player. It's the, you know, Mental Health lineup except for Rudy, and they need a bass player." So I sent in a little demo tape, just one song I recorded back in Sweden, and a short bass solo. And Kevin called me, and he was all excited. He's like, "Oh man, you're exactly what we're looking for. You sound like John Entwistle," you know. And he's all excited, and because he loved John Entwistle, and so I think he kind of made up his mind. And I went to his house, and I met him, and I got a cassette tape of stuff with the practice and stuff like that. So
there was no audition.
There was an audition, yeah. I played two songs. I played "Bang Your Head," and I played. Which was the first song I learned on bass 10 years earlier, believe it or not. First one was a 12-bar blues. The very first song I learned was "Bang Your Head." So and I auditioned with them exactly 10 years later.
Is that a great story or what?
Oh, it was so crazy. Be careful what you wish for. And the number one record in my record collection just happened to be, I numbered all my records. I had a little number in the corner. So this is the first one I kept seeing every time I go to look for records.
That's amazing.
And was that record. It's almost like it was manifesting somehow. It was crazy.
It was meant to be.
So I come in and I played, and they asked me right there, if I wanted to tour with them. And they were tired. I think they brought me in last. So they'd been there all day and the day before, and then they were just exhausted. And they were happy, apparently. But it was so scary. I was, 23 and they were like 40. So, and they had a lot more experience than me. So
They were
it was a little
40,
intimidating,
And the tour was a short one. Huh?
I did 22 shows of the American tour, and I left in the middle of the tour. So,
then that was the end, or you went to another gig. What happened?
It was so dead in LA where the grunge wave came in and just wiped everything out, and it was kind of a weird situation. Like I ended up deciding to just become a working bass player, and I did sessions. I went to studios back when there were still studios.
Right.
And I played all sorts of styles and gigs everywhere, Latin, reggae, jazz. I said yes to everything.
Yeah.
Even if I thought maybe I wasn't going to be able to do the gig, I still said yes. And it ended up working out 9 times out of 10. They're like, oh, it's great. Come back next week and play with us again. I'm like, okay, great. So, and I learned so much from that, playing just different styles.
The experience, and just put yourself out. I mean, I did that myself.
And we kept talking. We've been talking, Mike and I, since we met 12 years ago, something like that.
12 years ago. Okay.
Why didn't we meet in the 90s? We could have, but we're here now. So we're going to talk about that, how
we were
met
doing the same thing, like just 2 hours away from each other. Only you were doing it in the right place. You were in LA. I was in the desert where, like, if you shred, or if your guitar was in tune, or it was clean, if your drums were clean or in tune, or if you played on time. Well, not me, or if you played to a click track, then you weren't cool.
Yeah.
You straight up, like we were like the reject shred heads, because we were just school band and all that stuff.
You guys met 12 years ago, and how did you meet? Where are you from? Give me some of your background.
I just had got back from a 5-week tour in America. My band at the time was House of Broken Promises, and I went straight back to my day job. And I went from like 5 weeks of playing to like, okay, works. So Thursday, Friday's coming along. I think it was Thursday, and I get a call from my brother. He says, dude, I need you to sub for me this weekend. And I says, where at? He says, it's in Big Bear. You're gonna play all weekend. It's classic rock covers, and it's 3-4 sets a night, and there you go. I don't care. I said, I don't do that, but I don't care. I don't play covers. Let's go. I don't know too many. I just know some radio tunes. My brother was like, he's the cover guy. Anyways, I take a chance. I go out there. I drove in my van out there. So I was itching to play again. I drove out to Big Bear from Palm Desert. I got into Load-In, and I met Bjorn Englen.
It was crazy because it was meant to be. Our drummer had left the band, and we decided to go do this cover gig because we got on. And I asked the guys, "You guys want to do it?" And they said yes. But our drummer had moved to Virginia, so we don't have a drummer. And I started going down my list of drummers in my phone book, physical phone book back then, and started calling. And the number one guy that came to mind was his brother, but he's always busy. So I'm like, I'm not going to call Chad because he's probably busy. So I didn't call him, but I started calling, and it was no, I can't. But I know a guy. I called that guy. That guy couldn't. I ended up talking to about 40 guys, and I've never talked to more than 2 people to find a sub musician in my life because people want to work. No, I can't, but I know a guy. Okay, call the guy. Done. I couldn't. I was. This is crazy. I started placing ads on Craigslist and Recycler, and I got all kinds of weird calls.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm glad you're available, but you're really not the right guy. Sorry. So there was that kind of thing too, where it's like, I can't. This guy, it's not going to work. So I just couldn't find someone.
Then you call and you don't really know who they are,
right?
Because you don't have any background. It's usually word of mouth. So and so is great. He's a great guy, and he's on time. He's a great player and all that.
Right.
But by Recycler,
you don't know what you're getting.
You don't know. And they say, yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there. What time? Oh yeah, and they will show up.
Right.
Like
exactly. Imagine that. And then, so I was like, I was out of options. So I was like, you know what? My only option left was I called Chad. Let's see, maybe Chad. He's probably busy, but he might know someone. So I called Chad. Hey, can you do it? He said, I'd love to. I can't. But I'll send my brother. And I'm like, what do you mean send my brother? He's like, no, you're going to love him. Trust me. We played about 45 seconds of the first song. Sure. We played 45 seconds of the first song. We look at each other and we just knew. That was it. Yeah.
I mean, I set up my kid and it wasn't like whatever, no big deal, right? But when he plugged in his, I know what I do, but when he plugged in his stuff, I was like, okay, it's going to be a great weekend.
The sound
It was like, you just know when
it's easy
somebody
to play.
feels and sounds just right,
Right.
and it complements, well, I hope.
Yeah.
It just feels right, you know?
Yeah.
It feels great to play, obviously, with an awesome bass player. Just say, I mean, that's just hands down.
So I said, hey, do you want to come in and play originals with us? And he said, sure. So I gave him the first record, and I said, it's called Life in the Dark. It's still available. Advertising there.
Yeah,
But-
show me the records.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Show the camera.
That's a brand new one. This is the record.
And
of
slow. What are they? The
yeah.
names?
Life in the Dark is the
Okay.
first one. So I gave a copy
And the
to Mike.
label is.
The label was Grand Mercy Records, independent,
Okay,
our own
independent
label
label.
actually. And this one is on No Life to Metal.
Okay.
Rocks, which is a part of Rocks Records.
Desert Fire.
Yeah. So they've been great to work with.
Great.
Out of California actually. We played as what you hear,
Yeah.
no fake. And
Right.
I mean, we probably, back in the day, you couldn't really use two different drum takes, but I think a couple of the songs is like the half of the song is from one take and half of the song is from maybe take 3 or take 2 or something like
Right.
that.
Yeah. After you play them for a while, you just know them. You just go in.
Yeah.
And you know the vibe, and just play it.
And if you start looking for perfection, we didn't want to be that cookie cutter, overproduced band. Like perfection is not, I think is a dangerous thing to look
It
for.
loses personality. When
Yeah.
It's like too.
If you have the vibe and you can feel
Yeah.
something, then everything else is like secondary, I think.
Yeah.
So, but to go back to the story again, like I gave him this record, the first record that had just come out. I said, pick a couple of songs that you want to jam on. I called him like a week later, and he said, it doesn't matter, I know the whole record.
Mm-hmm.
So he'd learned the whole record. Yeah. So we come in, me and Rob, the guitar player, come in, Rob Math, and we walk in, and he's been driving from the desert, 2-hour drive, and he's there an hour before us. He's already been there for 45 minutes. We walk in, and there's like smoke coming up behind him. I'm like, did he bring his smoke machine? Turned out it was his espresso maker. And this guy's, he knows how to make espresso.
Brother Mike.
And we'll rehearse out in the desert, he always makes the best espresso.
You're watching the Ronnie Ciago Show, and we'll be right back.
Is your business lost in the desert? Tired of dull billboards? Want your business to shine? Visit amgbillboards.com. Take your advertising to the next level. amgbillboards.com.
So we start playing, and 45 seconds into the first song, he stops and stands up. He's like, hey guys, it doesn't go 2 times before the second pre-chorus, it goes 3 times. Let's do it again. And we're looking at each other going like, this guy really wants to gig. He knows the songs better.
So I didn't get a call back. He didn't call me back. I was like, this guy's out.
He knows the song better than we know it. That's
I had to
great.
call him back like 10 times. Hey, man.
Have you
remember
guys
that.
listened to this record?
I swear it was the way you did it.
So the rest is history.
Yes.
And
we jam out every Wednesday.
yeah.
And it
Van
continues.
Nuys, California.
Yeah.
It was cool. So I got to drive from the desert. I got to go join finally in the Los Angeles music scene. I was like so proud of my brother. Chad, I'm gonna be in this. Mickey, you're already in it. No, I'm gonna be. I drive every Wednesday 2 hours to Van Nuys, California, and we jam out 12 to 2, 2 to 4, whatever. And it was awesome to get out and experience and play on, something totally different level, with different musicians and great musicians, just great guys.
Some of the tracks off the record were actually me and Mike just jamming at the rehearsal studio.
30 seconds before Rob walks in rehearsal.
Yeah, I pressed record on my phone, and 4 of the songs on the record music was written like that. And we just started playing and kind of wrote the song as we're playing it. And that was it.
Wow.
He'd stop and say, hey, wait a second, why don't we do this in front of that? But it wasn't too much planning or thought going into it.
I think we made a small stockpile of like our little personal riffs that we had from all those rehearsals. And then Bjorn goes, hey man, I'll move into your house. I said, all right, man, go ahead. You got to share the room with my little dog. Just kidding. No, he said Bjorn was rad. He came over to he moved into my house from his badass Los Angeles apartment.
It's important for a drummer to be a part of the music instead of just like, well, just play this rhythm or just groove and, stay in time. And instead of being a part of the production, and that's what I do. I'm part of when I go in, I want to be part of the production, but how the song is arranged and all the whole thing. Right. Whether I could be the songwriter or the help arrange it.
No, I'm going to say to Bjorn's credit and say, yes, it's awesome to be together and come up with stuff, but some also and as well. I don't have a problem, Bjorn comes like, hey man, try this beat, try this rhythm, try this note here, or put this cymbal part there. Like, completely. And thank you. It makes the beats
part
different.
Of the writing. I mean, it's just the way it is.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. That's how I look at it.
More important that we have good material than worrying about who writes it.
Right.
Let's just
what sounds best.
I mean, I wrote the whole thing. Let's get it clear. I told everybody what to do.
I paid him to say that, so he could say that I was part of it.
$10,000. $10,000.
So Bjorn, tell me some more about, because you got an extensive history. So Quiet Riot, and I know you were Yngwie Malmsteen for Rising Force. I mean, tell me about that.
After Quiet Riot, I did a lot of sessions and stuff. In the 90s, I joined a band called Bleed in 2004 with Robin McCauley from McCauley Schenker Group. Okay. That's a great guy and fantastic singer. And another record that I had and was put on the wall and would see all the time. So there's another thing that sort of, I don't know how that works, the attraction, the law of attraction or something like that. It wasn't like I went to seek him out. It was actually this guitar player that, that I knew, formed the band with him, and he asked me, hey, you want to join? I said, absolutely. And we went out and we did a lot of gigs as the Robert McCauley band as well to kind of get warm and tight as a band, and we had a lot of fun doing that. Yeah, years went by and I was on MySpace, went back into MySpace.
MySpace, I remember that.
It was 2003, and I see all just how profiles would just pop up, and all of a sudden there's like this Patrick Johansson, drummer for Yngwie Malmsteen, and I always, when I was a kid, I always wanted to play for Yngwie. And then years went by, I didn't think much about it. I was like, yeah, probably will one day because I think my style is good and whatever. And I just sent him a message. Hey, he lived in Florida. I said, hey, just hi from another Sweden. He goes like, oh, I'm in LA right now. Let's have coffee. And that's how it started. And we became friends. And he didn't say anything, but they were kind of looking for, at the time, looking for a bass player. but he didn't tell me that. But he said, let's jam. So we went to his rehearsal and he recorded it, our jam. A year or two went by, and he was in California on tour with Yngwie, and they were up in Ventura, and he's like, can you give me a ride to sound check in Ventura? So we go to sound check, and I meet Yngwie, and I'm hanging out, and Yngwie does like 4-hour sound checks. So I'm hanging there, and 2 hours into sound check, the bass player, had a bad cold, and I think he wanted to take a break, but he said, I'm going to the bathroom. And Patrick goes, Bjorn, grab the bass. And Yngwie goes, what song do you want to play? I said, Far Beyond the Sun, which is one of his more complicated instrumentals. And he's, are you sure? I'm like, absolutely, let's do it. And it was like as if I'd played with him for 10 years already.
Yeah.
I played in my
It
sleep.
just clicked.
Shit.
And that was the beginning of that.
Good.
And then we had a gig at the NAMM show, no rehearsal. And that was, and afterwards he asked me, hey, you want to tour with me? And I'm like, yeah. So did about 5 years of world tours with him. This is a fantastic time.
5 years.
Yeah, fantastic time. I loved it.
What year was this? What years?
2007 and 2012, I left the band. Yeah. Right next to me when I'm doing the first show with Yngwie is Uli John Roth is standing there on my side of the stage, right next to my amp. And afterwards he walks up to me right after the show and goes like, that was incredible. You didn't miss one note. Now you have to play with me too, because I don't like to rehearse either. Dead serious. He's funny without trying to be funny.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, okay, no problem. So I ended up playing with him for a few years in his band,
Now-
Uli John Roth band, and the
Oh, okay.
singer was Mark Bowles,
Okay.
who's now our singer. That's how I met Mark.
Oh, okay.
Mark walks into the first rehearsal, and the first thing he says to me is, hey, I got a band with Tony McAlpine and Virgil Lunati, and we're looking for a bass player. You want to come down and jam? And I said, sure. So I go down and jam with him. Nothing came out of the band, but as I'm leaving, I'm putting my bass and my amp in the car, Tony comes running after me. He goes like, hey, you have a business card? Calls me 20 minutes later and says, hey, I'm going on tour in Europe doing my instrumental stuff. You want to play bass? And I said, sure. So it's kind of like one
That's
thing
so rad.
leads to another.
Was it a trio or what was it?
It was actually 4-piece
Four.
because he had a second guitar player doing the harmonies and stuff like that too. So,
Okay.
yeah. I had a lot of fun playing with him. Yeah.
And Tony's a cool guy.
He's a cool guy.
Good.
We became good friends, and
Good.
I played with him for about 7 years. And
Oh.
in the fall, we just did a combined show with Soulside and Vinnie Moore and Tony McAlpine. And Mike and I played with all three bands. So it was a long night for us, but it was fun. And at the end, we did kind of like a jam together, and almost like a G3 kind of thing. You know? Yeah.
That was a trip playing.
Yeah.
Bjorn and I got to be I got to be in rhythm section with Bjorn for our Soul Sign band, who was part of our thing because we're promoting Soul Sign, but got to play with Vinnie Moore and Tony McAlpine. You know, we had this quick Zoom meeting. Bjorn's like, and by the way, the tour's going to go like this. But I was, hey, he looks at me, and goes, careful what you wish for. I'm like, we're going to play. So I was like, it's awesome. Got to play with Vinnie Moore, Tony McAlpine, all in one night.
Yeah.
It was great.
It was
I'm
good.
looking forward to hearing I want to hear the record, when-
Okay.
Yes,
you know,
Desert Fire.
Yeah.
Which brings us back
Desert
to Bjorn
Fire.
moving into my house, and we started tracking all the drum stuff.
And
We did it in my house. It was awesome.
okay. Oh.
Brought some microphones. I had a little bit of microphones too. We set up in my drum room. he set up on the other side, which is my living room or something like that, you know?
Do you live in LA or?
I'm in LA, yeah.
LA,
I'm over
okay.
by Los Feliz.
Palm Desert, California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Your brother is a long-time friend of mine.
My brother has that. He's a longtime friend to a lot of nice, beautiful people. I've heard so much about you by my brother, Tad. Wow. So I swear to you, I never forgot. This one was the coolest one. And this one was like years ago. And you don't forget these ones. Yeah, I was doing the gigs one time, and these guys got up and on a 4-piece, this guy in a single bassman 4-piece, he whipped the shit out of everybody. He went out there and did Moby Dick better than John Bonham.
Really great guy, yeah.
He's really,
Awesome to be
missed.
here. Thank you.
He's missed by so many people. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He goes, you know what, man? I'm going to hook you up with my friend from LA. No. Like some chick, dude? No, dude, my bass player friend. He does shred stuff, man, for Chevrolet. He does what you do, man. You know. And then the time came. It was like, I think it was like within months or something like that, I think is what it was.
Yeah, he immediately said, no, I'll send my brother, because he had already planned it, I think.
Yeah,
weeks
he goes,
for us
honestly,
to
you're
meet.
going to like us. He was like, yeah, you know, he did tell me that. I'm going to hook you up with my friend from LA. He did. He straight up said that. Just straight up. Boom. I was like, what? Cool.
I walk into Mike's studio the first time I'm there, and the whole wall's black and the ceiling's black. I'm going, Mike, what happened? No, I had a fight here. I was lighting some incense, and I was out watering the lawn. Luckily, he had a garden hose in his hand, and his daughter comes running up, Dad, the house is on fire. And he's like, what? So he put it out with a garden hose. So and then when we fast forward, we were recording the drums out there. I opened the door, and there's a fire up in the hills. Just like the album cover.
Oh, wow.
That's how we got and so we're, it's always hot out there, and so
Yeah.
we wrote a song
Slightly.
called "There's a Fire," and then that's
Just
what we
slightly.
decided to name the album. So
Wow.
Desert Fire from Desert Fire Studios.
Yeah.
Do you want to name my place Desert Fire Studios? Thanks, bro.
yeah,
And this came out, when did you finish this record?
it came out April 4th.
April 4th.
Yeah,
What's new on I know you were supposed to do some concerts, and what happened? Your singer.
we had some bad luck with that. We had to cancel actually all of them, and but we'll be back doing some of them, and we'll be back.
gonna be doing a record release.
Back at Rockefellas for sure, yeah. And we're going to do record release party up in LA in July. So
Oh, good.
July 11th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
And
let
then-
me know when that is.
We'll do,
Hopefully
yeah.
I'll come up. And
But
see
definitely for Rockefellas, we can't wait to redo that.
We have to. Absolutely. Yeah.
it. Okay, guys, where can we find you on your social media?
We are on Facebook, Soul Sign Official. We are on Instagram, Soul Sign, TikTok, Soul Sign 8, and X, formerly known as Twitter. We're All Star Rock, RAWK. And our official website is soulsignband.com, where you can find the record, the CD, you can pre-order the vinyl, and you can buy the download
Oh, wow.
version of the record.
Excellent.
And
Excellent.
and Mike is on Instagram and Facebook and as well.
All
You
that
can
good
find him
stuff. Drum Mike Cancino.
And myself and Mark and Rob are on most of the social medias as well. So
Okay.
yeah.
Guys, thank you for being on my show. I mean, it was a fantastic interview.
Our pleasure.
You're going to be my longtime friends.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us. And we already have mutual friends, It's
That's
funny, how years go by and, finally meet.
Finally.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All the best.
Mucho.
This has been the Ronnie Ciago Show, and I'll see you next week.